Hello and welcome. This is going to be the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina. Thanks to everyone for showing up here. Let's take a moment, set our intentions, take a few deep breaths with me, take in some of that energetic smudge, and let's get your reading started. So as many of you know, the Daily Dharma is to take kind of the collective pulse and how we fit in and what are the main messages coming through. What do we need to pay attention to? What's being called out? What is the energy today? We've got a couple coming out. I'm going to let a few more pop out today. Set those up. The first one is 43. The rattle talks about conjuring, working with spirit, shaking things up a little bit to see where the elements fall. The second one, nice, 37. The Magician's Sword. So first, rattle. Secondly, Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. So you're manifesting something, you're shaking your routine up perhaps, and stepping a little out of the comfort zone, maybe using your voice in a different way or speaking in a group context where previously you may have been comfortable just tagging along or witnessing other individuals. It seems like you're kind of clearing your throat and making your presence known. Let's stop there for the moment. 3 came out face down. That's 4. All right, so this will be our second row. 56, the wall, obstacles. Yeah, this is something maybe you haven't had a chance to speak to someone or in this group context previously. I apologize if you guys will hear the road noise. We'll work through it. Secondly, 18, eyes of the eagle, rising above the fray. I do really enjoy this card. So you using your voice and stepping up brings you into the attention of someone else, or maybe this is for some of you, you speaking to somebody that you haven't necessarily had the confidence to speak to in the past, or bringing up a new subject with somebody that you have somewhat of a relationship or acquaintanceship with already. 35, the medicine wheel, talks about healing a situation, but also possibly about healing your reservations to taking this step. 59, the wailing tree. For some of you, this may have something to do with your genetic lineage or you not feeling secure for some other reason, but it may also have to do with your thoughts and feelings surrounding the way you show up. And for me, this card is one of the Chiron wound for a number of reasons. And the Chiron wound is sometimes over exaggerated by some individuals, but for those like myself, I have it placed in my natal chart at the time of my birth, right with my solar stellium, so right where my sun is in astrology and a number of other planets right there on top of each other. And so for me, it takes more precedence in my chart. And for some of you out there, there may be a little extra emphasis on your perseverance and your growth cycle, your evolution, your journey through this idea of being limited or unable in the past. You've had some type of limitation and you're working your way through it. So it's bringing up Tree of Life and the Ascension Journey. I just saw 444. And so it's like, to me in the moment, it's kind of talking about the ebb and flow and how we can see ourselves somehow more stagnant than the universe sees us. I mean, maybe some people are more static than others, who are more dynamic and change oriented. But overall, we're all dynamic individuals. We're growing, shifting, and changing. And so, with that tree of life imagery, it's almost like talking about the time from our birth and so on, where we have gone through cycles of either assertion and then receptivity. So here we have 53 coming up to close out this row. And I think that this is you catching the attention of somebody in particular. And this person may have been watching you for a little while. They may have been tucked into the shadows due to their own reservations. Potentially, I feel like sizing you up to see what you bring to the table, whether this is for a job opportunity or a community building, some type of consciousness enterprise, or in your own, to be family, to be friends, to be loved ones, intimate partners. Somebody's assessing. So, taking a deep breath here, let's restart this smudge and settle down my energies here with you folks, and let's get in some additional clarification on these cards. So you're conjuring your own ability to manifest something truth oriented, honestly, or with honesty and integrity, something with that sword upright. It's like ability and belief that you have the potential to do this, that you're worthy of it, that you're open and ready to receive, closing out old cycles and old narratives, and really putting your, I'm hearing both gusto and guts into the situation. So at the time of this broadcast, we are in the middle of the lunar eclipse and the coming solar eclipse. And so at this time, I feel like this is like shaking loose anything that doesn't serve so that we can be open and ready to receive, creating the vacuum that will pull in some of our upcoming opportunities. And some of this is happening with using our voice, using our courage, standing a little bit apart, and being seen for who and how we are in some type of way. So this is going to be very healing for yourself. That medicine wheel happens in the center, and oh, that's gorgeous. Underneath the deck, we have a lot of trucks going by out of nowhere. So they're coming from the farm down the road. It's not something we typically have here, so I apologize for the road noise. Luminous warrior, whether this represents yourself or an individual that's coming into this situation, or a friendly associate during this time, I'm going to split the deck. Spirit of the river, movement towards adventure. So I don't know if you're going on an adventure or if you are contemplating some type of wild or semi-exciting, somewhat out of character movement here, but that it looks like it's going to be bringing in more clarity, and it's going to bring up somebody's fighting instinct. So your ability to fight for the light. And out of nowhere, I'm hearing that old song, Fight for the Right to Party. Maybe you've been feeling a little limited, restricted, or judged unfairly, or judging yourself unfairly, keeping yourself safe, or in a comfort zone. Stepping out of that, though, here with this luminous warrior, you're like, I deserve to shine as well. And, taking back your power from any type of distraction or inner those Chiron wounds that would tell us that, there's something that isn't enough, or there's other people or are having ideas about us or something like that, or that we aren't strong enough, cool enough, brave enough, smart enough. any of that stuff that wants to arise is being healed right now. Oh, yes. And briefly, I want to say this eyes of the eagle. This to me is like other individuals viewing you, perhaps this microscope talking about maybe social media or in a group setting, other individuals kind of like putting on their glasses and to see you better type like you, the way that you've used your energy, the way that you've chosen to use specific words is resonating at a level with individuals where it's maybe just the tone of your voice or something magical that others don't understand because they're not possibly as conscious or empathic, but their soul remembers. And as you speak up, like for instance, I've recognized that as somebody who was always told that my voice didn't matter on some level, right? That then when I started being confident with my voice years ago, I would notice that other people in a group setting, for instance, I'm just going to use some examples here from my experience that are coming to mind. In a group setting, a workshop, let's say, lots of individuals, one presenter, and they're across the way, and everybody's kind of, whether they have a microphone or not, it's hard to hear them across the room. And this always bothered me because I was so engaged with the process. I wanted to understand, I wanted to be part of that. And then the presenter, if they heard them, they didn't necessarily always repeat. But so, anyways, when I went on my little journey of showing myself greater and greater ways, I started noticing that I would intentionally do the belly breathing and the supported voice from my plexus, which is coming up here in a second. I've already got some cards out here, and it would bring this up, and the voice would be supported, and then everybody would be able to hear me. I don't need a microphone because I can be really loud. Part of what helped me also was my participation in martial arts, which helped me to work with my chi, for instance, and my own confidence in my own stamina and ability to protect myself, my ability to be confident and authentic, and to be strong and to be respected, because that situation was much different than my early upbringing, at least the narrative thereof. And so, not to make this too far down, but or down the rabbit hole of my own experience, this all coming up because there's something about whatever has been your supposed wound from the past has been an activation code that now you've really reached a graduation point where, like for instance myself, it's my voice and my sense of self, and also being in the sign of Taurus with some other elements, it has a lot to do with the law of attraction, because Venus rules Taurus and its placement, and so for you, whether this is using your voice, using your intellect, um, being attractive, being magnetic, being humorous, being part of the crowd, um, whatever it might be for you. There's so many nuances here. The way that you now present yourself has corrected itself, and now you are somebody who, in the realms of having previously thought you were the wounded one in this dimension, now you are the healed one, and you're setting the bar. And for instance, when I speak in those situations, I've noticed that since people can hear me, and because I project my tone and I speak clearly and concisely, because I've already thought about the thing before I raise my hand. Um, People don't necessarily aren't really in that place, and it hasn't necessarily been their path. And so then when I speak up and like take the mic without the mic, so to speak, all of a sudden everybody turns their head, which reactivates some of the fear complexes of what's everybody looking at? Do I look a certain way? Do I sound a certain way? Should I play small? Should I not have raised my hand? So this is the back and forth. And again, whether or not it has to do with your voice, whatever it is that you are conjuring has to do with something that you fear exposure with. And it's like you found the workaround, you found that divine keyhole, and you're able to even when you can't find a door, you're finding the window to escape any type of limitation, self-limiting belief, or limiting circumstance. And you're really tuning in and tapping into what has been activated in you for so long. And suddenly, if you can work beyond the fears of what people are looking at, another truck is coming if you can't hear that, then you begin to rise above other individuals and take notice from the collective. And if you can see this in the correct way in the moment, I feel like you're really healing yourself and you're giving other clues to other individuals who may not have thought about the way that one person projects versus the way another person um, what do you want to say, masks their energy. Or, for instance, many of us have been um, had issues with presentation, and so whatever it is that they come to speak into form and conjure and manifest comes out with, I'm sorry, but could I this? Or I'm sorry, I just have a question. Or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be whatever. And of course, it's nice to be compassionate and empathic and ask other individuals if they're, um, feeling safe and secure in the direction of a conversation. But that's not what I'm getting at here. I think you understand that when we hold our horses way back here on the chariot constantly, like they're raring to go, they're poised, the opportunity is presented, the horses are um, anxious to get going. And when we're full stop, it's like brake torquing in a vehicle where we're slamming on the gas, but we're also holding the brake to the floor, and it's just spinning the wheels, rolling the rubber off the tires, and just creating a whole smoke show, which is the masking, which is the veiling of our energy and essence. And if we want to go forward, if we want to manifest, it's important to, find that sweet spot where, especially like if you think about it in terms of a stick shift, there's that the clutch and the gas and that perfect ratio of releasing one and starting the other. My hands are starting to tingle, which always means there's a bit of an activation and movement of energy here. So I'm sensing that when I do this and I'm in the middle of speaking something in, this is something that's hitting you at a specific place. You know what I'm speaking about. And what we're doing is we're assisting in moving that energy around in your psyche, in your body. And if you can breathe deeply into that and accept that you are well on your way to some type of breakthrough energy here, where others are going to take you seriously and respect what you have to say. But we need to respect it as well. When we come and we apologize, we take the momentum. The tone that we use. I watched somebody recently. It was two individuals going back and forth, and there was a woman and a man, and they both had a lot of interesting things, intelligent things to say. However, at the beginning of many of her conversations, she started with, oh, well, I don't know how to say this and I don't know how to say that, which I recognized I was doing at the beginning of this. Well, I don't know if this, I don't know if that. There's also the way that we speak, the words that we choose to say. Somebody also often corrects me because she's 91, and her father and grandfather would constantly tell her, we um, we would be better served if instead of saying, I don't know what I'm doing, to say, I'm not certain what comes next, or rephrasing with not enforcing mentally over and over repetition of I don't know, or I apologize, or am I okay to, do I have your permission to speak what's boiling up in me? Do I have your permission to ask for what's for me? Leaving that there. So that is coming up, but there's a particular stranger in this time, and it may have to do with an adventure in the woods. I don't know if you're hiking or meditating somewhere, going on color tours. In my neck of the woods are going on. things such as that. But I started to say too, with these two, look at the eagle here and then the eagle here. But with here in that group dynamic, it's like all of these individuals, whatever animals that they resonate with, whatever their energy is, subtle, courageous, and inspired, kind of undercover and stalking, not like stalkerish, but then we have this serpent, the wise one. There's all these energies at work and play within the forest, within the group, within the collective and the community. And if we can push through and, just combine energies, I think that we're going to be very creatively inspired, and it's going to feel really good to be in the spirit of adventure, to allow ourselves to move into something new. And it's going to open up a new flow state, a new confidence where we're like, okay, we see the initial manifestation. And now it starts to say, well, oh, if that worked so well, I wonder if I tweaked this, or I wonder if I tried this a little bit more of a humorous bend with this individual, or, going up and introducing myself first to a group of individuals, whatever it might be. So the three that popped out from the code cards first over here are solar plexus, sacral chakra, and the realization card. So that's confidence, charisma, belonging, and self-worth, and the realization of how to use that in a creative way. Third eye chakra underneath. So this is really helping us move beyond the veil of any type of old narratives that no longer serve, any type of fear complexes that have obscured our authentic projection, because the third eye is the microphone that is able to gather insights from our environment, from within the self, and from our messages. And if we're busy with old narratives that don't serve, or projections from others who are toxic, then the third eye, the microphone is like full of static, and it's not turned up, it's not hooked to the amplifier. People aren't going to hear what we're saying, they're going to hear what we're feeling, the turmoil, the faulty wiring. And so this is like the mic check here, that as in our conjuring, where we're really releasing something and facing up to that and clarifying what we're ready for in the coming phase. I'm seeing Crow under the deck. Perfect storm, courage to step into life is the 44 card. We've already got the 43. Yeah, got a few duplicates here. Anyways, so let's get a couple more here. Let's specifically look at rattle. What can we hear about rattle? Gaia, using the elementals and the flow of energy around you. It looks like you want to get back out into nature to utilize your energy and be more in the flow with your authentic nature, and others that will accept you for how you are. Something else here for rattle. Let's okay, soul time. Soul time with Gaia and rattle is about taking the time to really get certain and clear about what it is that we're trying to conjure, and clearing out any error messages. That's what we're getting here. And something else to clarify, rattle. Anything we need to know? Here we go. We've got sexuality. So maybe this is an attraction. We also have confidence. Interesting. So confidence in your sensual charisma and your attractiveness. Maybe you're not the traditional cover model type. Who here is without going through the whole beauty regimen, which isn't even real, you know, but there's something about your confidence in your own magic is part of your charisma, especially at this time coming up with the astrology right now. I shared something on my community page about Mercury Kazemi, which is coming up in a few days. Okay, so Magician's Sword, we're going to take that. Innocence and Right Order. Yeah, there's something, our innocence and right order over the healing and the Magician's Sword. Yeah, it's talking about how the earliest version of ourself was what was most authentic and most attractive about us, and that was accidentally suppressed. So bringing that back to the forefront helps us to feel more confident in the real core of who we are, and you know, maybe even picking up some old hobbies or old interests or so on. Change was at the bottom here. I forgot to get one of these for Magician's Sword. Confidence in your magic. What can help us to gain this confidence? 3 cards here. Universal love. Oh, 4 again. 3, 4, 2 times. The emergence of synergy, conception of universal love. So something is coming into being where being in contact with the universal love force energy and flow with everything that is helps us to understand how we can really plant seeds of universal love to work with others, and it helps us gain some type of prominence. So as I was saying, you know, using my voice in a certain way, people turn because my voice has become one of the tools of my magician's tool chest. You have your own tools, and your voice is absolutely one of those. And so, as you work with your own sense of interconnectivity with love, especially self love, from the time of your birth, you're able to plant seeds of self acceptance and confidence, which is self acceptance and acceptance and synergy and flow with the universe and the environment. That is where we start to work in tandem with all those energies, and our energy starts to emerge and help our childlike, eternal childlike energy to step forward, to be witnessed, and to take, for others to take notice. And it helps others to put things into proper perspective in their life. So let's see, anything with the wall, obstacles, what has stood in our way? We've got transition and delight, something that has been very exciting for you, something that has caught your attention, something you really want. This is the thing that you're trying to conjure, whether it's a relationship, a community, a sense of belonging, a sense of feeling comfortable in your own skin. There's a shift here happening at the depths of your DNA, which is helping to move you from something that has kept you in the darkness and moving you into delight, into the light, into a delightful circumstance. You're ready for this. Remember who you are. Let's see. Celestials at the bottom of this deck now. So what's helping us get out of this and transition into the light? There's this window. It's like the workaround here, the cosmic workaround. Part of that is by being utterly comfortable in our own skin. Violet flame, transmuting anything that you feel. And again, with that violet energy of the third eye that was compared previously here. So yeah, by transmuting any lower vibrational influences or energies that surround us, by utilizing that I am presence, or maybe even some Saint Germain or particular meditations that have affirmations in them to help raise your confidence level and raise your perspective. And instead of staying stuck in something like a habit pattern of, you know, like maybe you just need a new wardrobe or a new pair of pants or something, like maybe your clothes don't quite fit you physically, literally, or don't fit your personality, or or what you're trying to convey. I don't know. It's like wearing a new hat, going with a different look or a different energy. It helps to shift our confidence when we feel good, and just the same with the psychological things that we take in on a basis. So let's see. I'm going to have to split this again. We've got miracle coming over eyes of the eagle. Yep, it's a miracle. People are taking notice of you. Medicine wheel. What's being healed? That crown chakra, the incoming messages from spirit. Wailing tree. This is that wounded inner nature. You emerging from your cocoon, all shiny and gorgeous and new. We've got a few coming out. Allowance of romantic love, consciousness, and the divine feminine. Oh my gosh, if that isn't allowing your own beauty to shine through, especially your consciousness, your elevated consciousness is going to especially be something that looks like you're conjuring a conscious romantic partner that is open, accepting, and self-realized. And with stranger, who has caught your eye here, or who you, oh, okay, we've got healing. Healing a dynamic. For some of you, this may be a reconciliation or an individual that you were afraid to approach in the past, or that was afraid to approach you. This whole thing could be reversed and could be the other individual. I'm going to take this one that was looking at me, which is Earth and Remembrance. Yeah, it's like two earth angels that are soulmates, maybe star-crossed lovers also. Belief, third eye chakra, communication, discernment, all showing themselves here. So if you believe and if you've gone through the vetting process, it looks like you're ready to communicate with another individual, or they're looking to create a situation in real time where they can talk to you about something. It's like they remember you from before, whether that's soul or literal in this earthly being, time and space. They want to heal something. They didn't take the right option the first time around, but now they've been able to create a lot of perspective in having watched your evolution, maybe, and they're ready to communicate their intuition about you. So we're running out of time, so maybe we'll do an extended here and get some more information on that other individual. Tune in if this is a love dynamic for you. So Eyes of the Eagle, union with miracle. There's absolutely a connection coming in. Doesn't have to be romantic for everyone, but you are creating the rising above the fray, is like creating that union within the self, that super fast upward growth and shift in frequency is creating some miracles to be unlocked in your world, and you're moving into a whole new place. Yeah, over the medicine wheel and crown chakra, we have star seed. So you're also connecting with somebody who has more of a cosmic awareness and cosmic identity, somebody perhaps that on their own level, however mundane, they're actually working to heal the earth, maybe just by being in nature. Over Wailing Tree, commitment on the horizon. Music,